tea. So this clean out is covered up in the bathroom in the basement, a depth of 1'7". There is a ceramic tile floor there. Let's see if we're still in the house here. Alright, so this is underneath the foundation of the house. So we've got a 22 here. So we've got several fractures right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it back just to find some landing room. See what kind of landing room we have. Alright, so we've got 3.5 foot of landing room before it turns to what looks to be 5 or 6 inch. Pretty good fractures here. I'll pause this and see where that's at. Alright, so I've located this spot at a depth of 10 foot. I'm about 36 foot off the sidewalk. I'm going to run it out and try and find the right of way. It's diving pretty good. It's starting to... So this should be to the tap, and then the top of the main, possibly. No. We'll pull it back to the top of the right here and see where we're at. I'm going to pause the video. I've located this right at the edge of the sidewalk of a depth of 10 foot deep.
Are you talking about like the city sidewalk or the walkway to our house?
The sidewalk out by the street.
I wonder where the right of way starts.
The right of way would be at the sidewalk. Especially, sorry, if this is.
Oh, sorry, there's so much shit down here.
Do you pay your sewer to MSD, Metropolitan Sewer District?
Shit, no, I think we do Indian Hill.
I'll check. I'll pull a map and see if you're on. So everything from basically 58'7" would be beyond the sidewalk. I mean, when I stopped this, I'm literally right at the edge of the sidewalk, the house side of the sidewalk.
Okay, the house side.
So here it goes down, and you can tell it's going to, right after this, it switches to concrete. You can see the concrete pipe. So that tells you, too, that you're in the right of way. So you got two main areas of concern as far as cracks. And unfortunately, they're nowhere close to each other. Right at the transition from PVC to clay, and then 35 feet or so from, well, the sidewalk's just the best place to dig. One, you're not as close to the trees, plus you're taking care of all your service line there, versus if you dig where that bad spot is, you got another 35 foot of pipe downstream. Okay. So if you dig at the sidewalk and shoot a liner this way, you're taking care of all your line. if you dig where the bad spot is, then you got to shoot 2 liners if you want to take care of the whole
gotcha.
line. This way, and it's cheaper to do it. Of course, it's not my money, but it's cheaper to do it once than to come back 3 years from now, have to dig again and shoot the downstream side. Something that a lot of people like to pick is we finance through Kimba, and it's 12 months, same as cash. So instead of using your money, you can use their money and not have to pay it for a year. But I'll pull it back and I'll show you the place where the bottom's all broke up. So the roots are starting to come back. Not a big deal. Like I said, we'll jet it again if we line it.
So what? Okay. It looks like both of the roots that you saw are coming in on the same side of the pipe.
On the left. And it's hard to say.
But
that
they
could be
go under and back. Oh.
So they seal around those joints with concrete.
Okay.
So you could have a chunk of concrete come off on the left, and the roots are really on the right.
Okay.
I mean, I would hate to tell you to,
No, I just
yeah,
wondered
cut
if
that tree down on the left and
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
No, sure. I just wondered if that was a definite answer. So you would dig on the house side of the sidewalk, right by the sidewalk.
Yeah. And then what we would also do is put a clean out. So there's a fracture here. It's not bad. It's just a crack. You can see it goes pretty much the length of that whole section. Some small fractures there, not bad. Actually,
Hold on, Cal.
yeah, this is where the one that's all busted up.
Okay.
So that's roughly 27 foot out. Get some fractures, some cracks there. Not bad. So here's where it comes to the PVC. You can see right there is a big, huge crack. Once I get into PVC, you'll see it more.
Oh, yeah.
That's the worst spot because that's put on there with a Firmco, where they go from the clay to the plastic. First step would be we would call 811. They would mark everything, make sure that either one, it can be dug with a mini excavator, or does it have to be hydro excavated. The plus side to the hydro excavate is you automatically are getting topsoil, because it's when you hydro excavate, it's turning everything into liquid.
Okay.
So it's putting everything into that truck as it pumps it out. So you're getting gravel and topsoil back in. If there's no utilities there and you can open dig, but then you've got the mound of dirt. So if you wanted us to haul off a majority of that and put in gravel and then some topsoil, that can be figured in. But if you didn't want to go into the holidays with a mess out there.
What sort of size hole do you dig?
It'll be roughly 40, probably say 4 foot by 7 or 8 foot, because it's 10 foot deep, so we have to put a trench box in there.
Gotcha.
It's a decent sized hole.
Yeah.
What's more hideous is the mound of dirt.
Okay. And I'm just thinking, We have a guy that I think could come mark it okay, but we've got underground irrigation system. And I know, like, we had some section of sidewalk redone, and I know they broke it. So I think there is some.
Did they take any pictures, by chance, when they exposed it?
No, but I mean, the guy that services it twice a year knows an awful lot about it. He might have even been the one that installed it for the prior owners. And I know that when we were going to have some like drainage put in by the driveway, I know he came and marked the flags.
So more than likely what we would have to do if it runs through there is just cut, you know, a 4-foot section out if it was in the way. And because you gotta either put shoring in, which is basically plywood and jacks, or you gotta put the trench box in, because more than likely it will collapse if it's not, and then somebody's dead.
Now, I see some roots are coming back. It doesn't look like it's about to be a full clog again.
No.
Like what level of emergency is this project?
I wouldn't worry as much about the roots as I would the fractures, because there's no way of knowing when those, you know, those could go in a week, they could go in a year, they can go in 10 years. You just don't know when it's going to fall. I mean, they could just take a big truck going down the road one day, and you know, the extra weight of a big truck shifting the ground or vibrating the ground a little bit, and it decides to break. The roots, you still have several months before they would be big enough to cause a clog.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, there's really only one option for how to do this. Okay, well, that eliminates any decisions, so that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, and in the long run, I think it's better, especially if, you know, if you're having trouble, you know, getting contractors these days.
Yeah.
That keeps that off the table as far as having to tear out the floor. But that's only two options: is open the floor at that clean out, or dig outside.
Yeah, and the digging outside seems like a temporary eyesore.
Yeah. And I can check with my boss and see, you know, what kind of extra we would charge to haul. Basically, we would haul one load of dirt out for clay, and then bring in gravel and topsoil so it's not as much of an eyesore going into the